Hello, everybody, and welcome. Hello and welcome. Thank you for joining us in our celebration today for California's Class 980. We are currently live streaming from Guide Dogs for the Blind California campus. If everyone would like to turn around and wave hello to our camera back there. Thank you for joining us live stream today, everybody. We have so much to celebrate today. Today we are here to celebrate 1 new Canine Buddy team and 2 new Guide Dog teams, as well as applaud the generosity of those who have helped make today happen. Thank you to our puppy raisers. Thank you for helping us prepare these special dogs for their roles. We cannot fulfill our mission without you. You have put your heart and soul into each of these dogs, and it shows, and we look forward to hearing from some of you today. Thank you to our donors. Thank you for helping us provide a lifetime of support to our alums at no cost to them. We do not receive any government funding, so we are very thankful for your support. I'd like to extend a special thank you to Raw's Natural Pet Food of York, Maine, for its lifelong guide dog team membership of Karina Comer and Moby. And I'd also like to extend a special thank you to Lily Ann Tremoroli for her generous sponsorship of all of our guide dog harnesses throughout this entire year, 2023. I'd also like to extend a thank you to all of our volunteers and employees here at Guide Dogs for the Blind. Thank you so much for all that you do to support our mission. Whether you help by working with our dogs, whether you help by working in our administration or directly with our clients, we are so grateful for all that you do. We'd like to share a short video about our mission. This video is audio described, so in addition to the narrator, you will hear a second voice describing scenes in the video. Captions will also be included. These inclusive features ensure everyone can access and enjoy our video. Enjoy some GDB magic.
Logos, Guide Dogs for the Blind and Guide Dogs for the Blind International.
Hello, I'm Noah Wiley.
A mama nurses a litter.
There's a special magic about Guide Dogs for the Blind.
Puppy bellies and wiggling tails.
Some might say it's the dogs.
Puppies squirm in a pile.
These courageous guides who change people's lives.
2 black puppies at a gate. Outside, a woman hugs her guide dog.
There's magic in the people, too.
A man walks with his dog. An older puppy licks a woman's cheek.
Like the volunteer puppy raisers.
Volunteers with puppies.
Who socialize and care for puppies in their homes.
Out walking in their neighborhood.
Encouraging them to explore new surroundings.
Riding the train.
And giving them love and guidance.
In the park.
To help prepare them to be a guide dog.
And in a group at the airport.
And, when it's time, part ways so that the puppy they have raised can go on to change someone's life.
A team on a city sidewalk.
When dogs return to our campuses, our world-class instructors work their magic to maximize each dog's potential to become highly skilled, smart, and loving companions.
Instructors with dogs.
Teaching each dog how to safely guide someone who is blind or visually impaired through the world when they're at home.
Relaxing by a fireplace.
Hiking.
On a forest trail.
Visiting friends.
At a picnic table.
Catching a plane.
Navigating baggage claim.
Heading downtown.
In a city crosswalk.
Across town.
Along a riverfront.
Taking public transportation.
At a train station.
Or heading to work.
Riding an escalator.
They will even disobey a command if it means keeping their handlers safe.
People with guides in their neighborhoods.
Those who are on the other end of the harness might say the magic is there, moving freely through the world with ease, confidence, and independence. Along the way, helping them develop new relationships, connect with new people, building stronger, more compassionate communities.
A group of people with their guide dogs in Chinatown.
We know there is magic in these partnerships.
A woman hugs her dog.
The bonds that are formed.
Another kisses her dog's head.
The places they go.
A group of people and guide dogs at the Golden Gate Bridge.
The dreams that come true.
A woman leads small boys on a walk with her dog.
It's in the care.
Playing in a yard.
The friendship.
A woman pets a dog.
The lifetime of love.
Lying in her lap.
It's the ability to live a fuller life without limits.
A woman scales an indoor climbing wall.
At Guide Dogs for the Blind, you are part of an amazing community that works together to make these partnerships possible, at no cost to training to help prepare potential clients for the guide dog lifestyle.
Instructors with clients.
A community that gives children in our youth programs the opportunity to experience the magic of a guide dog, to see if having a dog may be right for them.
Children interact and play with dogs.
A community that makes dreams of inclusion, enhanced confidence,
Clients walk with dogs.
mobility, independence, and companionship come true.
A man with his dog on the beach.
That's the magic of Guide Dogs for the Blind.
Share an orange sunset.
And it's all because of you.
He hugs his dog. Blackout. Logos. Guide Dogs for the Blind and Guide Dogs for the Blind International. The light fades to black.
All right, what a great video. Well, up next, I would like to introduce our instructional staff here. My name is Marlis Johnson. I'm an apprentice instructor here at Guide Dogs for the Blind. I'd like to introduce Melanie Harris, our class supervisor. Lauren Paperno, qualified instructor. And Corinne Brown, apprentice instructor. And I'll now hand it off to Corinne to introduce our graduates.
Hi everyone, my name is Corinne. I'm an apprentice instructor here at GDB, and I had the pleasure of instructing in this class. Today we are celebrating the graduation of 2 guide dog teams and 1 canine buddy team. Just some information about our Canine Buddy program. We were recently able to expand this program to serve clients ages 5 and above, and these clients now have similar levels of, or have access to similar level of service as our guide dog clients, including VFA and follow-up support. Though Canine Buddy dogs are not service dogs, they are wonderful companions that bring joy, confidence, and connection to the GDB community. So without further ado, we have our Canine Buddy team that's graduating today. Noelle Robertson of Fairfax, California, who received Chiquita, a female yellow lab golden cross, raised by Lacey Goforth of Layton, Utah. Yep, you can come up.
Wow.
You can come
There must be
around
food
to this
involved.
side. Yeah, you
That's
can
it?
come, you can go ahead and come up behind me around over the right hand side. There we go.
Now that I got the choreography down.
Yep. All right, and I will go ahead and pass if you would like
Oh,
to say.
sure. First, I want to thank Lacey, how generous she is to even, pass on this wonderful creature who has been, a real life changer for me. I lost confidence and became kind of sedentary when I became impaired, right? But once I got her, and thank you to Dan and Diane for fostering her, I realized I have a responsibility. I've got to walk again, And so she and I have been walking all over my neighborhood, which is Deer Park in Fairfax, right? And there's hills, and there's horses, and there's all kinds of things. Right. So it's been wonderful to feel active again, to feel confident about walking in the hills again. And my wife, of course, has had an awful lot to do with training her. So thank you all, especially Diane and Dan and Lacey, right? Thank you so much.
I'm really excited to be here. Chiquita is incredibly special to me. And I said I wasn't going to cry. We were talking about this earlier, and I'm like, I don't need tissues. I'm going to be fine. And I might start crying. I want to share a couple of just little vignettes about Chiquita, but in order to understand them, you have to actually understand that Chiquita's pretty old. She's 3.5. Chiquita was recalled nearly 2 years ago and decided she wanted to try everything Guide Dogs for the Blind had to offer. So first she became a breeder, and she didn't really love some of the medical aspects of being a breeder, so she was spayed and put into training, and didn't love some of the aspects of being a guide dog. Didn't love wearing a harness, and so then she eventually became a canine buddy. And so I share that because I've got a little bit of a timeline, and you're going to be like, that was a long time ago. You're right, it was a little bit of there was a little bit of time in between. So some of this stuff is actually taken right off of Facebook, right? Because we share things on Facebook about our puppies to help us remember them. So I literally searched my Facebook for some funny stories. So when Chiquita was, about 10 months old, I posted in a puppy raising group for puppy raisers, and asked how many people have to put their toys up at night, because Chiquita, I'd wake up at 2:30 in the morning, because I could hear this gnawing on this toy. And I haven't had to do that for most of my puppies. She's pretty funny, so I'd had to start putting the toys up at night because she would chew on them. Chiquita actually got an early start on some of this guide work stuff when she was about 8 months old, and I began classes to become an orientation and mobility instructor. So she should have been learning some. Obviously it didn't have an impact on her actual eventual outcome, but she got to walk me through some of those classes, and that was a fun experience to have her there with me. When Chiquita turned 1 year old on her first birthday, this is what I posted on Facebook. I said, "Happy birthday to this wonderful fluffy dog who owns a piece of my heart. You bring happiness and hairiness to our house every day." So I just love her. When she was recalled, I wrote, "Chiquita came to me on December 22nd, 2019, and less than 3 months later, we shut the world down. Despite my introverted homebody personality, that's quite a daunting prospect for someone who lives alone. I'm so very grateful for all the dogs that shared my life with me while we were all spending our time with only the beings that we lived with. Along with my other dogs, Chiquita helped make sure that my days were happy and active. I will miss her very much. It has been and is a privilege to love you." I said I wasn't going to cry. I thought a lot about how I wanted to make sure people understood how special she is, because she's really a special dog. And it made me think of Patricia McConnell, who's a well-known dog behaviorist and author, and she wrote a book. She's written lots of books, one called The Other End of the Leash. And she shares this about a dog that she loves, and I think a lot of us in this room will feel this way about dogs that are here or other dogs that we've known. "I love all my dogs so much that it hurts sometimes, but as much as I love each of them, it is different with Luke." That's her dog, her Border Collie. "I fell in love with Luke right after I got him, and I'm still hopelessly in love with him now. Luke is that 1 in a million dog that most people never get, even dog trainers and breeders who've known hundreds of dogs. Every once in a while, someone will come up to me in a seminar and start talking about their Luke equivalent, a dog who is so special that they can't talk about him without getting tears in their eyes. Maybe you had one once too, a dog full of such goodness that your heart swells within your chest when you think of him. Maybe you have one now. I hope so. Lucky us." So Chiquita was able to bring this group of people together, and we are very lucky. So.
Hey.
Thank you, guys. All right. Next, we have our first guide dog team graduating today, who's Karina Comer, who's receiving her second guide, Moby, a yellow lab male. Moby was raised by Penny Flaherty of Laguna Woods, California. Karina was born and raised in Connecticut. She now lives in Beaverton, Oregon, where she owns and runs her own vegan bakery named Karina's Cafe.
Thank you. So Moby is my second guide dog, and when I got my first dog setter, it definitely changed my life. It gave me more confidence. I think, eventually helped me open that bakery, and connected me with people, including great puppy raisers. And it's wonderful to have another loving dog in my life again, and that can get me through all the obstacles, and help me keep my independence while having someone to love. And so I thank you everybody for who's helped me make that happen, including Rosie. That's a fabulous donation, and to the puppy raisers like Penny.
Moby's my second puppy, but this is my first graduation due to COVID. I can already see the bond between Karina and Moby and think how lucky he's going to be living in her bakery and smelling all those wonderful smells every day. First of all, I would like to thank Frank Fran from Tee Off for Dogs for donating Moby's harness. Next, our PFM, Devin Warner, and our leaders, Jeannie Valenti and Don Freeman, who are always available to help us in any way we need. Also, I want to give a shout out to all our raisers and sitters in the Laguna Niguel Puppy Raisers Club, and of course, everyone here at GDB on campus that made this match possible. I also can't forget my friends and neighbors who patiently visited us, learning to ignore Moby when he was excited, not being able to pet him and love him, and also teach him how to respond to the doorbell ringing. We walked a lot, and I'd see my neighbors, they'd see me ringing the doorbell and Moby running to the kennel. They said, "What are you doing?" And so I explained, and they started coming over and ringing my doorbell for me. So one day it rang about 12 times. I was exhausted following, but he got that so quickly and just literally would fly to his crate. So you're going to have to be prepared for that at the bakery. And lastly with me today is Rachel Heuser, a puppy sitter who I consider Moby's second mom. Hold up your hand, Rachel. She not only gave me much needed relief, but she has all kinds of challenging activities that she set up in her garage during COVID. And she didn't have a yard. These puppies needed exercise, so she came up with teeter-totters and all kinds of things for them to climb on and explore. And it really gave him a lot of confidence to explore in a safe environment. And one of his proudest moments was learning how to go up and down the stairs at her house. It was a little struggle at first. He'd kind of do the bunny hop up, and then he'd get to the top and like, seriously, you want me to go down now? I just got here. One of my favorite memories of him is on Thanksgiving Day when he was only 4 months old. We were finishing our dinner, and we turned around and looked, and he was sound asleep with his head in his empty bowl. So he didn't have turkey, but he was worn out. He's such a happy, confident dog that loves to go for walks, sit in the sun or by the fireplace, or just cuddle in your lap. So I look forward to hearing about all your adventures with Moby, and I know that he will keep you safe and bring you so much joy. Yeah.
All right, our next graduating team is William Hanna, who is receiving his second guide dog, a male yellow lab golden retriever named Henning. Henning was raised by Lewis Caldwell of Knightonson, California. William lives in Olympia, Washington with his two teenagers, Rory and Seamus, along with his retired guide Sam and a white German Shepherd named Winter. He works for the Department of Natural Resources in the Wildland Fire Management Program, and in his off hours, he spends his time outdoors, enjoying too much coffee and exploring his community.
Thank you. It's always a bit odd walking in the front of a room and hearing about yourself. So I'll start with the same sentiment we've already heard. A huge thank you to everybody involved and a lot of gratitude. You know, from the puppy raisers who spend a huge amount of time getting these dogs ready for becoming a guide dog, the trainers and instructors who do a wonderful job, especially with the humans as they come on board. Dogs are nearly perfect, but a lot of work goes into us. Henning, sit. To you know, the chefs. I haven't lost my weight yet, but I've gained a couple pounds over the last 2 weeks. You know, and all the support staff, the nurses and RAs that keep us going, and cleaners and all the people involved. It's an absolutely wonderful experience. So on to Henning. Henning is an amazing guide dog, full of a confidence and joy and a dream to be with. She's also got this great amount of wit. Commonly when I'm getting ready to go, she'll be staring at me. I got a little bit of sight, and I'll look across the room, and she'll be looking at me and just kind of wondering if we're really going. And so I enjoy that a lot. It fits my personality pretty darn well. And so I'll leave with something I already said. Thank you, and a huge amount of gratitude.
So Henning was my 8th dog to raise, and I have to say he's been my favorite. He has a lot of personality. He's quite proud of himself, and he thinks everybody else should be quite proud of him too. I don't know if you can see it, but he has a little black spot on his right shoulder. And if he lays just right, it's shaped like a heart. So he's wearing his heart on his sleeve. And he is 7/8 golden and 1/8 lab. So that's also his lab badge. And as a puppy, I'd have him out and people would say, "What is that smudge on your dog?" And they'd come up and they'd try to wipe the grease off. And it's like, no, that's his fur, that's his lab badge. He's good, it's okay. So he's very high energy. He works. When he's working, he works. But when we're done working, it's time to play, and we'd better play now. Otherwise, he might get himself into something he shouldn't. Sorry, William. But he was just a real joy to raise. I see I've got a couple of the people from my puppy raising club here, and I want to thank them for taking Henny on those puppy sits where he learned that the rules were the same no matter what house you were in, because he did test every one of those puppy sitters. But as soon as they told him, I was like, okay, got it. But he had to try. So hopefully he doesn't try too much with William, but it sounds like William will put up with him anyway.
Let's go.
All right. Congratulations to all of our graduating teams today, and thank you to the puppy raisers for raising these amazing dogs. I'm going to be passing the mic over to Lauren, who's going to be narrating a chair targeting demonstration.
Thank you. Let me get my chair set up. All right, so I have the pleasure of talking with you guys about this wonderful magical tool that's hanging around my wrist. It is the clicker. And so during formal training, our dogs learn most of their skills involved with guide work and obedience via clicker training. So their training entails communicating to the dog using a click, to let the dog know that the behavior they are doing is correct. The clicker makes communication much more consistent and timelier than just praise or food alone. So I'd like to introduce Marissa, one of our resident advisors, and her lovely guide, Jim, who is a yellow long-coated cross, and they're going to help with this demonstration. Got the chair up here. All right. So we start off by pairing food with the sound of the click. Once the dog understands that the click means food, we can then pair the click with a desired behavior. So for example, when a dog is doing something like stopping for a curb or going into a sit or a down and they get a click, they think food. And they're likely to want to do these behaviors again and again in anticipation of receiving that food reward. So while in class, one of the workshops that we offer is learning how to apply clicker training to find a target. So Marissa and her dog Jim are going to demonstrate how their technique has been tailored for clients to teach their dogs how to find a chair. Jim has already been taught to touch Marissa's hand. Whenever the dog touches their hand, Marissa clicks, and that lets Jim know that he's done the correct behavior and he gets that food reward. Marissa will now repeat that a couple of times, get him in that game, that mindset. And then now Marissa will use her hand to show Jim that the chair is the new target. So she'll place her hand on the chair, click, and reward him right on that chair. So he learns that food and that chair are a good thing. So the method that Marissa's demonstrating right now is called back chaining. We start at the end goal, the chair, and we slowly, link by link, increase the complexity and distance of the skill. So in this case, starting at the chair and then the end behavior being further away from the chair. So as you can see, Jim is super enthusiastic about this game. Accuracy and enthusiasm to find the chair tells Marissa that he's really enjoying his job. And back chaining is great because we've simplified an otherwise kind of complex task and making it really enjoyable for both the handler and dog alike. All right, so the next step is for Marissa to pick up the harness handle and start from a short distance and have him work up to the chair where he'll get that food reward again. Add a little bit more distance. And as soon as Jim is anticipating and accurately working to the chair, we're going to start naming it, pairing that name as we're working towards it.
By the chair. Chair. Yes. Good job.
Look at him go. So smart. And then the final goal is for Jim to work from a farther distance. So Jim's going to now work back a ways, returning to the stage to find the chair. Let's see if he can do it. Perfect. Yes, and then Marissa will take a seat in the chair, and it kind of makes it purposeful for the dog too. This is our end destination. We're going to hang out here for a little bit. And this simple targeting technique can be widely used in the client's home area. They can apply this principle to teach their dogs to locate all kinds of things, whether it be the ATM machine, pedestrian crosswalk buttons, bus stops, you name it. They've got a whole bunch of different options to teach their dog to expand their vocabulary. All right. Thank you so much, Marissa and Jim. All right. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us today for celebrating Class 980 and our 3 newest Guide Dog and Canine Buddy partnerships. Marissa's going to be available for any back chaining questions that you might have. If you're interested in volunteering, making a donation, or know anybody who would benefit from our services, please speak to any of our staff who are here, and you can also visit our website, guidedogs.com. Please join us for some refreshments next door in the lobby. Our gift shop is going to be open until 3 p.m. today. And for our viewers at home, we hope to see you soon. Let's give everyone one last round of applause. Thank you.